What's up, everybody, and welcome to January 4th, 2026, the first study session, quantum study session of 2026. We are watching the 6 o'clock market open right after everything that just occurred in Venezuela over the weekend. Slight push up, but so far looks like it might come back to fill this gap. I scalped a little bit of that push up, and that was it. Wanted to see it hold above 46. It could not. It could come all the way back down to test this 405. So I'm just going to be patient and watch right now. If it does come all the way back to test 405, I do not want the 5 minute to close below the lines because that could be a push to break that 405. So I am clearing up. One thing I want to make clear, right? I am clearing up the trend on the lower time frames. I do not want to look at the trends on the lower time frames. All I want to look at it is on the 5 minute. My higher time frame trend is more important to me than the lower time frame trends. I'm gonna be majorly focusing on levels, right? MOC openings are a lot based on levels. Even New York Open. New York Open loves to test levels. I like to wait to see where it approaches. If it rejects. Right now, we have no levels. It just broke through a 46 level. So you could technically say this 46 pocket on the 2 minute. And I'm just saying, I'm gonna say in the 2 minute, right? We've been testing the 1, 2, and 5 minute with quantum, these levels that are on the 2 minute levels. There are 2 minute levels as well that do get respected from time to time, but they're not as strong as the 1 or as consistent as the 1 and 5. So at the moment, it is in the middle of nowhere. This could fill this gap down all the way down to 400, 405. So that's where I'm going to wait to see if it'll respect that 405 area and cross back up. There it goes. Violent, right? Short, not too bad. Not too bad. Just personally, I don't like to play shorts without levels. There it goes. Look at that. Gap fills, again, don't always play gap fills. Gap fills are very dangerous. All right, that was a quick bounce off 405. Doesn't look like it's getting too much strength. So I want to wait to see if this will close, and I want to see it break back over 433. There it goes. Okay. I don't know if any of you guys caught that bounce. I did catch it a little. I got 4 micros in. I'm $100 in on those 4 micros. I got 2 micros left. I got trailed out on 2. I'm trailing. No. I just want to trail 1. All right. There. I'm up $150 right now on that 1 opening trade and that 405 bounce. I didn't even get in at the 405. I got in at 413. I got in late. So that 405 bounce, look at that. Okay, levels, guys. The quantum levels, quick scalps, right? That's what I do. I let a runner run. Anybody that's worried about micro scalping, things like that, the runner is the one that stays in there the longest to make sure that you're not micro scalping. All right, that was a clean bounce off the 405. Like just quick 15, what would it give? Hold on, it tapped it here on the 5. It came all the way down to 407 and then jumped up a good like 12-ish points. All right. Still going sub 16 points right now. I think it jumped up more than that, actually. Now I want to see it break over 433. If this is going to be a strong 5 minute level, you want to see it then break this 433, then break up over 440, and then 446 again for that failed bearish move here. All right, and quantum is very simple, right? This is why I want to clear the emphasis on the trend clouds on the 1 and the 2 minute, the lower time frames, because I honestly never look at them. I never look at them. All I care about with quantum are the levels, my candles, and the guidelines, the action lines. That's it, right? What forms the levels? The action lines form the levels. My runner is up $30 right now. My runner from 413, I'm up 13 points on this up right now. And again, I didn't get a good entry. All right, still going. Oh, look at that, baby. I'm up to $170 right now on 2 trades so far for the open. I'll gladly take that. And I'm going to start trailing it a little tighter now because it is going to could potentially reject here at this level. So I'm going to trail it at 425. 424.50 is where I'm going to set it right now. I'm going to set at 424.50. If this candle flips, then oh well. All right, still going, baby. There, up 20 points right now. Did anybody else catch that bounce, or we're just kind of watching? I'm going to do a little more trade along styles and explaining my entries and what I'm looking for and why. You know, if anybody was brave enough to short it, the short was there to fill that gap and retest that 405. I personally don't take anything that's not in a level. And that's good, Alaskan. You don't have to, right? I'm right now. This is going to be a lot. I want everyone to understand what I'm looking at, what I'm reading, and how I play them. Like that was just a clean bounce off the 405 level. That was it. 5-minute level over here. That was it. Nice strong bounce. Now I'm going to set my stop to 428 again. 427 actually. 427. We're just still rejecting this 33.75. All right. So look where it's halting right now. 33.75. Right. It would need to break that, and then it would need to break over 430. All right. That took me out. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful play. In and out. Couple minutes. 440 and 433.75 have to be taken. Now, what could possibly happen, nice shit, Swab, this could start just hovering around here. This could start ranging, right? This is what I look for, right? What does Quantum do for me? Quantum gives me my guidance. I know where my stop losses are going to be. I know where my level plays are going to be. I know where there's potential to be any rejection or any resistance points. So here, what I'm waiting for, right? I'm waiting for a level reaction. I'm waiting for a level to form, okay? This is technically an advanced read, an extended advanced read, right? The sell signal populated win after this candle. Why? Because the cross is in front, right? The cross in front of the candle. It's within one candle, so it's going to populate the signal. But it's going to trigger as soon as this candle closes because it locks in what? The level. Guess what it does? It comes all the way back to retest it, right? I caught the bounce from 405. I got in at 413. Bounce back up, 433. Guess what it's doing? It's rejecting. What? So what am I expecting now? I'm expecting potential range to start forming here. Potential range. Could it eventually do a move? It could, right? There's going to be a session open at 7 p.m. So when 7 p.m. opens, there could be some volume push, and then we're going to have to see if a level is respected. Same way as I read MOC, right? MOC is pure level respect. That's it. All I do is wait. If we're in the middle of the chart during MOC, guess what I'm doing? I'm waiting. If I have a clear area where I can see a hold, right? If there's a level right there we're on, all I have to do is wait for that level to form, and then I'm going to watch it. That level gets respected. As long as it respects that level, there's going to be a little push up. Okay? MOC always has a little pump. The pump is what varies because sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's quick, and sometimes it does nothing, right? Sometimes it's just an immediate pull down or pull up, but it's always testing a level. If you guys notice, if you guys have Quantum, you know exactly what I'm reading when I'm reading Power Hour. I'm waiting for the level reactions. If we're in between levels, say we're like in the middle of these two levels, what am I going to wait for? I'm like, oh, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I'm not going to be like, well, like the long. If I, there's always going to be a little pump if there's a level above, right? But if it's too tight, it's too fast, you're not going to get in it. You're not going to even be. You're going to be in it, but you're not going to be able to get out of it. It's going to go so fast that you're going to be like, oh shit, I saw green for like 1 second, and then I try to get out and you couldn't. So that's why I always wait. If it rejects the level, then I like for the potential rejection, and then I want to see the break of another level below. Same thing. I'm not going to start. I'm not going to, like, if I catch the short from a level rejection, right? I'm not going to bet on it all the way hitting that level next. I don't use the levels as TPs. So I want to make sure everyone's clear on that. Do not use the level as TPs. Okay. Could they hit? Yes. Do they always hit? No. Right? Because if the levels are strong, they're not going to get tapped. A stacked level, right? Stacked level is the main thing. A 1 and a 5 together, right? This is from Friday, so we have to be cautious here. This might not hold that much strength. We had a lot of news over the weekend. So this stacked level could give way. It could on the push on 7 o'clock. We have to wait and see what Sydney does. It could just respect it for the time being and just hover around on top of it. The moment it's respecting it. But this needs to break 433.75 and then has to break our bearish candle. So the only things I'm looking at are the levels and my candles and the formation of the levels. That's it, really, levels and candles. That's all I'm looking at. The Quantum candles and the levels. That's it, nothing else, right? So for the time being, you guys can get rid of that trend on the 1 and the 2 if you guys are looking. I'm just going to keep it on the 5 because I want to see the overall trend. That's all I want to see. What's the overall trend? Currently, right, over Friday, if you zoom out, what was it? It was a big downtrend all day Friday, right? Currently, what is it doing? It's trying to flip up, right? It's trying to flip back up. There's a lot of room up. There's a lot more room up than down. Does that mean it's going to go up? No. Right? It does not mean that. So I will be patiently waiting for setups. I'll be patiently waiting for bounces. Right now, look at that, right? It's still pushing and trying to test this level here again at 433. We're getting a potential cross up, okay? So a potential cross up could push through it, but that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see if that level pushes through, and then I want to see it break through 44. I'm not 44.40, all right? There was a very strong wick push out of nowhere, just pushed up very, very, very fast. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, right? What forms our levels are the crosses. So now I'm going to gauge how far up this potentially needs to go for it to form a cross up to close the level. All right. So again, for me, right, what's my guiding point that I have? The candle, the purple candle, right? My quantum candle. So I know it needs to break 440. So I know it needs to break and close over 440, right? We got a wick over it, but it did not get a closure. I need to start seeing it close over 440. That's a failed bearish move and also a potential cross up that's going to form. Until then, I'm sitting on my hands. So currently, what do we have? All right, if you guys watched YouTube videos, here's your quantum range. There's your current quantum range. Below 421, above 440. And now you sit and wait, right? If you go below 420, how much room do you have down to that, right? If we go above 440, how much room do we have up? I like a push up way more than I like a push down. Yeah, that was a nice little 3Z. A quick 3Z with no continuation, but look where it 3Z to, right? This is why I love the quantum levels. Where did it 3Z to, right? Your level right there. So would I hold that anymore, right? I would have scalped the hell out of that 3Z, gotten out, been happy because of this, right? I wouldn't hold too long. Some people want to hold the 3Z for continuation. Sometimes it doesn't give it to you. And guess what? You turn a green trade red. Why am I consistent? Because I don't let a green trade turn red, right? I have my guiding points. I know where I can scalp to, and I'm going to collect to that point. And I might leave one runner just to see, one runner. Not going to let my whole contracts, right? That's why I love micros. I'm not going to let a whole set of contracts get obliterated. I'm going to leave a runner or two, but I'm going to make sure I collect something. All right. That there's a lot of there's always people always say like, oh, how are you so consistent? How are you so consistent? And it's very easy for me because I don't let green trades turn red. Like I don't. Like I collect my same amount of points, right? I always respect my TPs, right? I do the 5 and the 10. The 10's the main, never changes. And then I let my runner run. My runner collects the majority. Like it adds up very, very fast, right? So currently we're just floating. Maestro, right now the action bars are reversed on the 1 and the 5. Do you just wait for them to be aligned? Yes, I want to wait for them to be aligned. So right now, what I'm seeing, right, the 5 minute is still looking like it wants to push up. As long as it keeps, right, and this is a lot of people, I treat my action lines like EMAs, right? That's why I used to call them EMAs. They're not your typical EMAs. Okay, I want to make sure everyone understands that these action lines aren't regular EMAs because these create our levels. Okay, but I treat them exactly like EMAs, right? If they keep staying above the EMA, what does that mean, right? People trade EMAs, the 9, the 21, the 55, the 200, right? If it stays above the line, we should get a push up, right? I almost treat these lines exactly the same. As long as we respect, right, the 5 minute, right? What needs to occur on each time frame for it to form a level, right? It needs to start going underneath 21, right? It needs to start pulling underneath 21 and closing under 21 to do what? Pull the lines down to form a level that could potentially break another level if we're that close. For the time being, the 5 minute is well above that bottom line. I'm not seeing a potential push down just yet, right? I don't have any guiding points at the moment, right? The only next guiding point I have is this 2 minute level all the way up here at 496.50. And then after that, I don't have anything until 569 and 703 on the 5. Like there's a shit ton of room up. But again, does that mean it's going to go up that much? No. I'm not going to hold a trade to go up that far up. But it's looking like there's more room up than down, right? I try to come into a trade with zero bias. I don't want to come in with bias. I don't want to say today's bullish, today's bearish. I'm going to wait for my opportunity to snag something. And this is why I can trade at any time of the day and I can look for setups at any time of the day because I come in with zero bias. I'm waiting for the level reaction. I'm waiting for it to come to the levels. I keep my same TPs. I keep my same risk. I don't change any of that. All of that stays the same, and then I feed off of it over and over and over again. Somebody that may hold a trade for 2-3 hours or 4 hours, right, for 30, 40, 50 points, and I've already collected more than that within less time than that. But it takes time to practice it. Like any other strategy, you have to practice it. You have to forward test. Forward testing is way more important to me than back testing. You can back test till the end of time, and you'll see the setups because you know they're there because you already see them, and you can back. You could do the replay mode, and you'll be like, okay, there it is, but you already saw it, right? It's different when you're reading it in the live market environment, and then when you see how repetitive it is, it's wild. Because that's the part that I need to play on. I need to play on it when it's live. I need to trust it when it's live. Not when I back test. Like, I love to back test. Because why? Because I like to see the consistency of the setup. But I need to forward test way more. If I don't forward test, I'm not going to fully trust myself. I'm not going to trust the setups. That's why forward testing is so important. Forward testing is actually taking trades while the market's open. Whether it's paper trading, you can forward test with paper. Right? You don't have to forward test with an account. The only thing with an actual account is that that's going to bring the emotions, right? The emotional side is the next part, right? Once you have your strategy in place, the next thing you need to overcome is the emotional side. And that comes with putting money into it, right? Buying an actual account. Okay, here's the break. Look at that, right? Here's the candle that broke, right? No real retest. Look at that. Look at the reaction you see. This is why I love this. Because you see this, right? It broke through 440, closed, immediately pumped. This is the reaction you see, right? What's going to form here if it holds above 441? That same area where this candle, this bearish candle was, there's going to be a level form there if this closes above here. The next thing I need to see is another push up after the level's formed, right? It's very reactionary. When I'm reading, look, still going. When I'm reading quantum, when I'm sometimes kind of, okay, if this closes over here, right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we should see a pop. And everyone's like, oh, how'd you know that? Because I see it over and over again, right? This is the part of forward testing, right? Closed above 440, you're up 13 points right now in a matter of seconds, right? You guys see my old videos where I'm up like boom in a blink of an eye. I'm up $200-300. Look at this, still going, right? Not science. This isn't like there's no secrets, right? I have other confluences I use to catch bigger plays and bigger setups, right? My sauce boxes. Things like that, right? The way that I combine Llama's fibs and my stuff. There's other confluences I use to find big potential setups. But I fed myself up a quantum for several months, right? From October 9th, 2023, when I got my first payout, until I started coaching in April. I had zero income with futures. And how did I do it? This, what I'm showing you guys. And I used to do this manually. All the levels, I used to plot everything. I used to look at the candle formations from the 15-second all the way up to the 3-4 minute, 5 minute, 3 and 5 minute to see if everything's lining up. And I used to trade off of the 30-second, right? The 30-second is a lot choppier. The 1 minute is a little riskier, but gives you better, cleaner plays, more consistent. So you don't get enough. That's why I switched off of the 30. So now, right, what am I going to see next, right? Now I need to see it hold over 440, right? The level formed. Popped out of the range. What can potentially happen now? It potentially could come down to retest that range, and it needs to hold it and continue on its way up. Now, it's a strong break, right? Here's the part, right? Here's the kicker. It's not always going to retest all the way to the T. I like to have the break and the retest. Oh my God, Schwab, there you go, buddy. Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about, dude. You have to be confident. The setups are there. The plays are clean. The beautiful part about this is that I know where my stops are. There's no guessing. You should never be guessing where your stop loss is. You should always know where your stop loss is, right? A lot of strategies we come in and we're winning, and then we go in and it's like, where's the stop loss? Where's the stop loss? I don't know. Where's the stop loss? It's up to you. It's up to where your risk is. It's up to what you want to manage, right? It's here for you, right? What is a stop loss for me on a quantum range play break? It's the candle that broke. That's simple. Not rocket science. There's no guessing. If this candle broke it, this is my guiding candle, okay? If I have an A++ setup, right? If I have an A++, this is an A++ because the cross happened in front, but I like the short. Where's my stop loss going to be? Above the purple candle, right? Why? Because that's my bearish quantum candle. Simple. No guessing, none of that bullshit, right? This is very, very clear. We will always know where our stop loss. There's no hope and prayer here. You should know. If you are entering a trade and you don't know where your stop loss is, you should not enter the trade, period. Okay? Still going. Okay? Still going. Simple. Okay? Very simple. So we're working on cleaning up quantum a lot, guys. Like 2026 is going to be a big year for us. Big year for us. I'm very comfortable with how my trading was the last few months. I like really locked in with a lot of things. Still going. Look at this, 20 points. like again, right? This is why forward testing is important, because you get to see it live. I do this. I always do my one-on-one sessions live. I do everything I do it live. Why? Because I see the same thing over and over and over again. Every single one of my sessions, well over 100, well over 150. I don't even know. I don't keep count. I do them all live in the market because I know how this plays out, right? Sometimes, guess what? I'm wrong sometimes, right? This isn't a 100% win rate strat. Anybody that claims to have that is full of it, because they be freaking filthy rich and not feeding off of sponsorships and off affiliations and off of like selling BS, right? Like, you guys subscribe to Quantum. I'm here every week doing this. Number one, because I love this shit, right? And I know it works, and I make bread off of it every week. And because my goal when I did this, because my story, a lot of you guys know my story. I hit rock bottom. I have a family, right? I have something here that I believe can help everybody. Everybody who needs that clear guidance, not guessing, not hope, none of that, right? Just building that stepping stone. Sometimes you need to just little stepping stone, you need to build it up to get there. And this is it, because this is what did it for me. And I'm a guy, again, who had 25 years plus in the restaurant industry. I only traded options a few years, right? But I had no idea what I was really reading. I kind of took I had an old mentor back in South Detroit who kind of showed me some stuff, and I was like, awesome. But guess what? I lost a shit ton of money in options still, a shit ton, right? And now here I found myself in futures, and this is where I finally found where I was able to do this consistently over and over and over again. And I believe anybody can. Absolutely anybody can, if I can. Yeah. All right. How do you handle stop losses trading on the 5-minute chart? Great question. I usually don't like to play purely off the 5-minute. Why? Because the risk is a lot higher. Okay. So if I get a 5-minute signal, right, like this one, okay, this one just rocket shipped up. Okay. So you have this level right down here at 274. So let me zoom in on this 5-minute. Okay. And when you start kind of just watching the chart, you'll start noticing where these candles appear, because they always appear at the pauses, right? They're never going to appear when the move is strong. They're not going to appear during the move, right? Push, little pause, and then a push down. None of the candles appeared. Then here's your little push up. Oh, there's our first sign of the candles, right? And then immediately failed bullish move. And guess what it did? It continued down. Now it's finally at an area of levels, right? There were other levels here, but it kept blowing right through them. Now it hit a pause. So now this 272, now this is an area where I'm kind of interested in. Hit a pause. It's just hanging out, right? Another failed bullish move, so still didn't want to push up, right? Then again, try to attempt, right? This is where the higher time frame trend works great, because it was downtrending most of the day. Could not break it, but it couldn't continue below this 270. Finally, gave it a little tap, right? You had a sell signal here. And this is an extra part of what you have to be cautious on with quantum, is be careful of these impulse candles, even on the higher time frames. When I'm talking about impulse candles, is these candles that all of a sudden they're 2-3 times larger than the previous 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Right? All these candles, look how tight they are. And then boom, big purple, right? And then where did it go to? That level, right? Here, it didn't touch it. It wicked up hard. And then finally, it tapped it, and it could not break it. Once, twice. Guess what occurred afterwards? There's your flip. This is the A++ setup, right? Where is your stop loss point at this, right? Entry on A++ setups is candle closure. Okay, candle closure. So your 320 would be your entry. If this is a pure A++ setup, your stop loss would be all the way down here at 287, right? That's an almost 40-point stop loss. I don't like that, right? So how do I play that personally? I wouldn't base it off of just the 5-minute read. If I do, maybe 1 or 2 micros. And I would play probably just to that 5-minute level down here, 302. So what I would do is I would go in 1, 2 micros, right? And then if it pulls back some, now my risk might be lower. right? Now it's going to be down here, right? I'll DCA. Now I like to DCA, right? This is why sizing is so important for me. Here's a little bit of free chicken for you guys. Sizing is important for me. I don't ever go in full size on higher risks. I have entries based on risk. If the risk is more than 10 points, 15 points, guess what? I'm going in a third or a fourth or a fraction of what my normal sizing is. Never full size. Why? Because I know there's a potential for a pullback. Now, if the 2 micros just run, they run, and that's okay, right? Let's look at what the outcome is on this, right? Now, is the outcome going to be like this always? No, it's not. But, right, my 2 micros, let's just say I just played this one candle, right? That's a 40-point push up. 40-point push with 2 micros. That's good money right there with 2 micros, okay? I'd be so happy with that. So happy. But a lot of us, again, we come into this game and we want to have big dollar bills, right? We want to see the big dollar bills like everyone else. Everyone else who's in here FOMOing, just throwing money around because they have it, they have a good job, they have other things, and they can reload an account left and right. Okay, good for them. I wasn't in that situation, unfortunately. I was in a situation where I couldn't lose more money. I needed to protect my accounts. So how did I do that? I controlled my sizing. So if I see a high risk entry point like this, I'm only going to go 2 micros and leave room to add if it pulls back. If it doesn't, oh well. I don't care. I'm going to collect whatever it gives me, and I'm going to be super happy with it. Right? Hits 10 points. I'm going to start trailing after. I'm not going to get rid of 1 or 2 at that point. I only have 2, right? I'm going to go, okay, let me see. If I got my 10 points. Let me see if I can get 15 or 20 and then trail. I'll get 1 out there, and then let me see where my last one will go. Okay, 10 points is $30. 40 bucks with 2 micros, that's 40 bucks on 10 points. Right? 20 points, 80. 30 points, 120. Right? And if you get 120 in 5 minutes, like where else can you do that? Okay, you get like that's the part of the psychology that hurts us sometimes is we think about the bigger dollars before we think about where we actually are in our trading journey. Like we want to be at the $1 million hits already, right? We want to hit thousands a day already. And it should not start that way because we burn accounts left and right. I don't burn accounts. I am a guy of consistency. I protect my shit. Okay. So on something like this, right? I'm just sizing down. Simple as that. Risk is high. If it breaks 301, if I see the 5 minute potentially crossing down, breaking 301, I might not hold all the way to test the 288. I might just get out of it, right? See if it holds 288 and then pops itself back up because I know this level down here, right? And if it pops back up, I'm going to re-enter. I'm not going to be afraid of re-entering, right? Say that was my first strike. I still got 2 strikes left. I'm going to take that shit. And I'm going to try to play it again. And if I strike out twice, I strike out again. But guess what? Right? If I played the risk here with 2 micros, what am I going to be down here, right? If I'm just playing 20, that's about 20 points with 2 micros. That's what? 40, 50 bucks, right? Something like that, right? Every 5 points is 10, 20, so 240, like 40 some bucks. I play with 50Ks. Is that going to hurt my account? Hell no. I'm going to move on from that really fast. Okay? So great question, Drop Dead. That's a great question. So hopefully that made sense for you, right? It's all about sizing. I'm telling you guys, like you could do a lot of damage with a very little bit, especially with these 5 minute setups. The 5 minute setups go hard when they go, right? You just have to be cautious. You have to be patient, right? This right here, this is a no-go, right? A few reasons. One, the cross happened slightly in front, so the move was already in progress on this candle. Then you have that level down here, right? So I wouldn't enter this until it breaks this level. And then even if it breaks this level, then you would have this next one down here. And you have another pocket, right? There's no guarantee it's going to tap it. Could it? Yeah, but I don't like it. I'd rather watch to see if we get a bounce. Right now, this happened at what time? This happened at 1:55. So let's go look at the 1 minute. Let's go look at the 1 minute. What did the 1 minute look at that time? Look at this. It came back all the way down to do what? Look at this. Retest 440. All right. What's that? All right. Look at this. All right. Remember I said what it could do eventually? Retest the quantum range and the level. Look at that. To the T. Always does the same thing. The patterns are insanely repetitive. I struggle to execute the long there. Why do you struggle, Alaskan? Fear? Doubt? See, you got to get rid of it. You just have to get in. If you live in fear and doubt, you're never going to get a trade in. You have to be okay losing. What's up, Woozy? Like that's the part that gets us. You have to be okay losing, right? If you're not okay losing, it's usually one of two reasons. You're sizing too heavy, okay? Well, number one, or you're just not in it. You're not really like looking for setup. You're just looking for luck. You just kind of like every play that you gotten in before, you haven't really analyzed the chart, and you're just like, let me just get in here. You know, like where the multiple confluences for me for this to potentially bounce, right? This was the previous failed bearish move, right? The 440, right? This level held everything. So I would wait to see if this would pop down and hold it. That was simple as that. Just pop down. This closed above 447. There's another 13-point move up to 461. I wouldn't have probably trailed. I would have trailed it up close. I probably would have got my 10 points and been happy with that, right? I would have been up a pretty good amount with that already too. Added another 50, 60 to my account, be up to $100 on this thing and be done. Call it a day on that account. Move on to the next one. I don't copy trade, but you have to be able to get rid of that doubt, right? Normally, on a play like this, I do the exact same thing on the previous break, right? Look where it came down to, right? If I played the bounce on this, where was my stop loss going to be? Okay, my stop loss would have been same stop loss as the original play. That guy, right? That guiding candle is the exact same stop loss I would have used if I was looking for a bounce, right? This guy right here would have been my stop loss, right there. If I don't know where my stop loss is, I am not getting in the trade, period. Okay, that's that key thing you got to always tell yourself. Where's my stop loss? If I'm going to play a potential retest of the range and the bounce here, where's your stop loss going to be? If you don't know, don't get in it. Okay, I know where my stop losses are, right? This is a part of learning a strat. Your stop loss, you're going to be the exact same as your previous. Played the previous break, that guiding candle is always your stop loss until it gets broken through. Did it break through? No. So if I entered down here at 441, I would have immediately put my stop at 337. And guess what? Sometimes it goes fast where I would just, if I saw break 337, I would just exit off. 4 points, 5 points. Not going to hurt. All right, let's take a look. 5 minute is trying to curl down, absolutely, but it is uptrending. And this needs to start closing beneath 448. It needs to start closing beneath 446, right? But again, what else does it need to do, right? How much room does it have, right? If this is trying to cross down, it doesn't have a whole lot. It needs to break through that 441 again, and then break through that previous breaking candle. And then we could start seeing retesting the range, which it absolutely could. It could re-enter this previous range. There's nothing saying that it won't. I've seen it happen before, right? It loves to test ranges. But it needs to break 441. So even if the 5 minute is crossing down, I'm still gauging where do I have room for it to go. Not much, right? If it starts closing below that 446, 440, it's 448.75 is where that bottom line is. It needs to start closing underneath that. Until then, it's a no-go. And even if it closes underneath that, where's my room, right? 441 needs to break, and then it needs to break under 38, and then it needs to break this, and then it needs to break that. I don't have a whole lot of room down. I'm not trying to scalp like little bits, right? I want there to be room. I want to at least guarantee myself 10. I can't guarantee myself 10 right there. You have to clear all this. This is where you have to be patient, right? You have to have room. You have to be able to clear this whole thing right here. You have to clear 441, break 441. Yes, you do have room to 445, right? But then you also have to still break that bullish candle of 421. Could absolutely come down and retest it. But I'm not entering a short until it breaks and holds up below 441, and then maybe seeing if it'll push back inside the range to that test that 420-ish area. Maybe. But until then, there's nothing here for me. All right, this 5 minute is hovering right below that line. Okay, so this is where you just have to like do traditional EMA playing, I guess, at that point. Or how do people play EMAs? As long as it stays below, right? The 2 minute, right? The 2 minute is staying below its bottom line. Right, this is an A++ on the 2 minute. Guess what it did up here? It did an advanced read. This would have wicked you out, though. If you had your stop loss right above, it would have wicked you out. The way that I like to play stop losses when it's super low risk like this, I do the swing highs or swing lows. So let's see. It's going to 441 again. So there was a setup on the 2 minute, right? But here's the secret, guys, right? The setups are the same on every single time frame. They don't change. The 2 minute, the 1 minute, the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 20 minute, the 30 minute, whatever time frame you want to pick. The setups are identical. It's all the exact same thing. It does not change at all. No matter what time frame you're on, the setups do not change. Okay. All right. So where were we going to go look at? We were going to look at the one right down here. Okay. Here we go. So based on what you were asking with the 5 minute risk factor, right? This is how I like to use the 1 minute chart on this, right? So here's that level down here at 274. Okay. So one of two things I'm seeing already immediately, right? Would I enter here? No. Would I enter here? No. I like this push up, this closure up here, the curling. This is where I know where immediately I know where my stop loss is going to be. My stop loss is going to be on this, the magnet's on where this hook is, right? This is that sharp hook, right? The bowling. So I look for bowls, right? The bowling, the rounding of the lines, or the sharp triangles, right? The hookups, right? Do I enter on the candle closure on here? Not always. No, not always. If the candle's big, I'm going to wait. Why? Right? This is the part where you guys have to remember, right? With these impulse candles, right? It didn't do it here. Here's the funny part, right? It didn't retrace this impulse candle. This impulse candle played out beautifully. All right. Would I have played this impulse candle? Probably not, because it's an impulse candle. It's huge. All right. From 311 did push all the way down here, right? This candle, boom, impulse candle, same thing. I'm gonna wait for it to pull back some. I already have my guiding hook right here. I might start entering at 280, 283. My stop loss will be down here at 263. It's 20 points. So I might just enter one or two. If it gets closer, I'll enter one or two more. Same stop loss. That won't move. And then I'm waiting for that finally, that cross to happen, right? That's a potential. The other way, right? I see it already. I see the other way. I could have also waited for the A++ setup to come. My entry on this would have been up here at 95. My stop loss would have been at 73. Okay, that's about same thing, like 20-ish points, big volume. So how would have I sized? Very low. I would have sized very low. Waited for a little bit of a pullback, right? Pulled back to 88. Dropped the risk by a little bit. I probably wouldn't have even added on that. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even added. Wouldn't have gotten the chance to. But if I see here's the crutch, right? I see my 5 minute pulling up too. So I know what's coming. I know there's a stacked level formation coming. So I might actually go in 3 micros instead of 1 or 2. Because I'm like, you know what? 3 micros, it wouldn't be that bad. Only if like I'm pretty green. But 3 micros with a stacked level formation does a lot of damage if the risk is high. There are stacked level formations where the risk isn't that high. I like to play those heavier, obviously, if the risk isn't that high. But something like this, right? This day was pretty. It was pushing pretty good. This was Friday. There was some volume on Friday, right? Candle closure 95. Stop loss will be down there at 73, right? If you waited for the candle closure, waited for the entry down here at 89 or 90, now your stop loss is about 17 points, a little bit better. Still small size to be comfortable for me, and then waiting for this. And then look at that thing. That thing just ran. It ran, right? If you got your entry at 94, it ran for almost 100 points. It ran for 100 points. Would I have caught the 100 points? Maybe with a runner, if I was feeling like, you know what, let me see if my runner will go with the stack levels, because I know the stack levels push. So I know that. So I know I'm going to leave one runner or two maybe, because I know with the stack level formation, I like to have my TPs a little higher, 15, 20 points sometimes, if the volume is there. It's almost guaranteed. So with the stack levels, right? Another little, I'm going to feed you guys some sauce, okay? A little bit of sauce. With the stack levels, I don't do the 5-point TPs, okay? With the stack levels, I go for 10 points first. I go for 10 points, and then I'll trail that one that I would normally get out at 5. I would trail it at the 15, and then I leave one runner, okay? This is sauce I'm giving you guys right here. Then the last runner will run from entry. So I collect a little bit more. Right? 1 or 2 runners. I always leave 1 or 2 runners depending on how many cons I go in. This year is going to be interesting because guess what? I am going to be trading nothing but 100Ks and 150Ks. Okay? I felt really comfortable with 50Ks, right? This is not something, again, this is just me personally. I'm moving up a level for me because I know what I've done the last 2 years. But what I'm going to teach everybody, what I'm going to continue to teach everybody, right, is to build to that point. Don't race to that point. Don't come in and immediately think I'm going to get a 150K account. I'm going to make all this money, blah, blah, blah. No. Get really, really, really good at dominating these 25 and 50K accounts because it is so easy to do it. And then build off of that. Build with the house money, right? Don't build after you've already blown a bunch of 100 and 150K accounts. They're not cheap. They're like $200 to $300. They're not cheap. Okay, start with those little ones. Get the grasp of it. You could do. I made a killing off of 50K accounts. Okay, the first 4 payouts, the first 4 accounts that I ever had, they were all 50K accounts. October 9th was my first payout. Between October 9th, I've said this before multiple times. I know we have some new people here. From October 9th to Thanksgiving weekend of the 2023 year, I made 19,000 off of 4 50K accounts. So there is room to make it, right? But you have to be strict with yourself. Sizing, TPs, stop losses, risk, all that, right? You have the guidance here. All right, let's take a look. What's it doing? Oh, look at that pull down. Holy crap. Oh, look at that. It broke 441. Ooh, 5-minute sell signal too. So on the candle closure here at 432, it gave you 13 points. All right, cross happened in front, so the move is in progress right now. This level's not going to form until this candle closes down here. That was a strong push down. Look at that. See, this is where the multi-time frame analysis really helps. You had your 1 minute, you have the level at 61, and then you had your 2 minute forming that level at 56. So that short actually wasn't so bad looking. It wasn't so bad looking. But again, I personally wouldn't take it. I wouldn't have taken it. If one of you guys did, great, right? The setups are there. They're there to test. You guys don't have to be afraid because I wouldn't take the trade. It's just me. There are trades that I wouldn't take that play out beautifully. That some of you guys take. And you just trust the process. You have your stop losses. If you know where your stop loss is, take the freaking trade, right? Size accordingly. Test it, right? You hear it. How many times do you guys hear me say the word, I'm going to test this? I'm going to test this. I'm going to test this. I'm going to test this, right? How did I get to the point where I know what potentially can happen? Because I tested. I tested everything. Every single thing I've tested. All right. I'm telling you, Bronco, like you just have to do it, right? You cannot live in fear when you're trading. You just can't. You can't. You have to trust the process. Whatever strategy you guys go in and choose, you have to trust it. The doubt will kill you, right? And then guess what? When you don't trust the setup, and then you go, oh, I saw the setup again last time, and then it doesn't work out, right? But it worked out the last time. Guess what? All of a sudden, you're just filled even more with doubt because trading, right? Again, setups aren't 100% win rate, but if you analyze enough, right? I tell a lot of people this: narrate the way that I narrate Power Hour. Narrate if this holds here, if this does this, if this does that. Let's see if it does this, and then you'll start seeing it over and over and over again. You're like, okay, if it does this and this holds here, where's my stop loss going to be? My stop loss will be right here. Okay, this is my stop loss. Do I like this? Well, let me test it. 2 micros. What's going to hurt? Right? And then before you know it, you're going to be like, oh, damn, I'm up 50, 60 bucks on 2 micros in like a minute and a half. Right? When we go look for jobs, what do we look for? We look for 20, 30 an hour. When you can make 20, 30 a minute easily over and over again. If you're patient, if you know what to look for, right? But that's a part of it. You're learning a new skill here. You're learning a new strategy. You're learning something that's going to help you, guide you. Okay? And do not, please, and I beg you guys, do not expect yourself to be perfect. Do not expect yourself to be perfect because you are not going to be perfect. Right? I had that expectation of myself when I started Power Hour, and it ended up hurting me in the end because I was doubting every single trade because I was like, oh, what's everyone going to think if I lose a trade? What's everyone going to think of me if I do this and that? I was filling myself with all this like very fearful doubt, and I was scared. I was so scared to take any trade. And when I took that loss, oh man, I don't know if you guys noticed how much fun I've been having trading now. I'm like, I don't care anymore. I'm not perfect. I don't expect myself to be perfect. I know what I'm doing because of the system I built, and I'm profitable as hell because of it. And I know a lot of you guys can get there too, without a question in my mind. Some of you already have, and some of you already have. And I know that, and I love it. Like that makes me so happy, and I want to see more. I want to see more of it. That's why I'm doing this. I do this because I love this. All right. Let's see what's going on here, right? Now, guess what? Now it needs to break through this here, right? Look where we're stuck. We're stuck in between 2 pockets. 2 pocket stack levels. All right? This is where the chop and range kills people. Would I be taking a trade anywhere here? Hell no. Hell to the no. Actually held on to this blue candle pretty damn well. Let me see where this blue candle would have been right here. That's a tippy tip. Ooh, that was close actually. But that 5-minute level down here, it didn't push any further. So here's where you're, again, right? This is where we're cautious, right? Oh, that's a failed bullish move candle here on this one, right? Yeah, but how much room do we have down? This is a stacked level we're fighting against. Would I take this? Hell no. Why? It needs to break this. Would I take this? Hell no. Why? Because it needs to break through that. Patience. Don't force trades when you're stuck in a tight spot like this. Do not. This is where you sit on your hands and you wait. Wait for it to clear up. Would I take a trade if it breaks through here? Nope. I got to wait for it to break, retest, hold, and then go. Until then, I'm going to sit on my hands. Okay? 5 minutes needs to break through 448. Potentially, then it could potentially break through 446 and 61. Then it can start making another move up. All right. Let's see some more questions. I've been playing. So hopefully that helped out, Drop Dead. Hopefully that helped a little bit. 5 minute is currently down in sync with the 2. Do you enter short now, or will you wait for the level break? So hopefully that helped Scarface, because the level, if 441 broke, it had some room to test down to 420. That there was room for that. I potentially might have tested that, but honestly, I probably just would have sat my hands on that. If I already caught that bounce up, I would have just watched it. And I don't like to take back to back trades a whole lot unless like I'm really in the zone. And when I'm in the zone, I'm just like, or I'm on my phone. I'm like, when I'm on my phone, I'm literally feels like I'm playing a game. Just waiting. Okay, up, then I'm like, ching ching. It's like I make the noises in my head, ching ching ching. So would you get in the break and get in the retest? All right. So would you get in on the break and then again on the retest? Yeah. So I do DCA, Drop Dead. So I DCA again. I do strategic DCA, right? I don't DCA into oblivion. I know where my stop loss is. I stop my stop loss is the ending point, right? So I always start small. If the risk is high, leave room to add in on the potential test. And if it breaks, guess what? Oh well, plays dead. It stopped me out. But the risk is reduced so much with starting off light. But you can still collect so much with so little. That's the point of this whole thing, right? That's how I got to where I got to. Because I collected from every little play over and over and over again. And again, right? How long does it take me? It doesn't take me that long. When I was trading those 450K accounts, 2 hours. I was done. 2.5, 2 hours sometimes. 4 counts, hitting 250, right? That was my bread and butter number back in the day. Right? Where else can you do that? That's what 250 times 4. That's like $1,000, right? I was doing on those accounts, and I was pulling out 1,200 times 2 and 2,000 times 2. So I was pulling out 1,200 every 5 days, and I was pulling out 4,000 every 10 days for like 2 months. And it added up really fast. And I was done in like less time than I was working. I was making way more. But again, right? It's still a process. Do people love to be one and done? Yes. Right? Can some people be one and done? Yes. Can everybody? No. Not everybody has that time just to sit in one chart for an hour and a half, or 2 hours and stare and wait, right? That's the reality of it. A lot of us, I got kids. I got to take my daughter to school. We got to do school events. We have doctor's appointments. There's 5 of us. The time's all over the place. And that's why I'm good at what I do at any time of the day. I can find a trade with any ticker, gold, silver. I'm going to look at corn and oil, eventually YM. And I could just trade them all. I could wait for a setup and eat off of it. All right. I have a shit ton of accounts now, right? But did I start off that way? No. Right? I got my first payout October 9th. And with that payout, I didn't do anything until the second payout. I did 250 for another 10 days, got another payout. Then I bought another account with that second payout. Did the exact same thing with the other account, got another payout. Bought 2 more accounts with that payout, right? And I was playing with house money at that point. And that's all I did. Very underrated point is not looking to see if you have room to make a trade. Yes, you have exactly. You have to make sure you have room. If it's in a tight spot, I'm gonna expect some chop and range, right? Oh look, did this play out? Yes, it did, right? There are gonna be, unfortunately, right? This was me before. I was degen, right? I might have tested this. I might have gone in and waited for the pullback, and it just holds 33. Where's my stop loss going to be? At 30? that's a 6 point stop loss. Why not? Why not? If I have an account I'm going to have fun with, why not? If I get stopped out, oh well. That's the thing about sizing. This is fun as hell for me. This is not stressful. This is not anxiety ridden for me anymore. When you guys watch me in Power Hour, when do I get anxiety ridden? When I YOLO, right? When I YOLO, I'm like, I hate it because all of a sudden I don't like that. Like I don't like that. I've built myself on consistency and sizing, and when I YOLO, it's so unnatural for me now. I hate it. Like that's where I get the emotions to come through. Right? 5 minute broke through. Now, look at here. Where did it stop? 556. The little 2 minute level. All right. Okay, we take a look at gold. Yeah, let's take a look at gold. Ooh, yeah, gold did gap up. Wow. Gold looks like it wants to push up more. It just crossed on the 5 and the 2 up. The 2 minute is the better than the 5. But again, these triple confluences do help on avoiding potential like little fake moves here and there. The 5 minute doesn't hold as much weight as the 1 and 2 on gold. Silver is the 1 and 5, just so everyone knows. But look at the setup, identical, right? Look at the buy signal at the close on Friday, 444. Like it's like the market knew what it was gonna do. Like it just knew. Oh yeah, we know what Trump's doing. Hold on, it's getting a little hot here. We got the heat on. So right now, as long as gold holds over 380, it could get some more push up. But the 1 minute is trying to pull down. But the overall trend is up at the moment. The 5 minutes trending up. So this could keep going. It has a lot of room all the way up to 406. Right? Does it mean it's going to get there? No, it does not. Right? That's not what I'm gauging at. The 2 minute cross up is just like the 5 minute on NQ. This 2 minute cross up, as long as it held 380, that was that push. This is a very, very separated stack level. So these are risky. I don't like to play stack levels when they're that far apart. I like them to be close. Less risk, and the moves tend to be a lot stronger. But gold's looking very bullish. All right. So you can see here, right, at the opening, 620, it did cross down, gave you a nice push down. But there was nothing really here. Like I don't see any levels or anything that it would have bounced off of here. Just bounced here, then crossed up at 69, held 69, and this is where level play, like silver and gold love levels, period. Level play. As long as it holds that level, you're good. A very easy tight stop loss could be the candle that's attached to the cross, this candle right here. There's that push, and then 2 minute pushed up, continuation push. So metals love levels, like levels and metal. Like that's it. Like look at silver. Like look at this. Oh, look at that signal. Like silver loves levels. Like look at this level formed and pushed down. Here's the 5 minute on silver. Currently rejecting that 73.64, but you can see when I gave you this, right, push down. This is why the higher time frame trend is where I'm liking the most. Right, look where it bounced, right, hit that 72.26, couldn't make it all the way, hit 70.51, reversed up, failed bearish move, huge failed bearish move, formed a new level. Now it's rejecting here at 30. It hit what, 77.5. Next will be the 74.02. All the way up here will be next if it does hold above there. Currently looks like it might pull down some. But metals love the simplest of setups and the levels. They do clean level breaks. There's usually a move after a level break, and resistance points around levels. Like that's what I've been playing on with silver. I haven't so much been always playing the signals alone. I've been playing around level stuff. So yeah. Yep, there's gold pushing down. Bouncing off 380 currently. What did it hit? 380 and 40. Needs to break that 380, then 379.10 if it's going to push down further. What time is it? 7 o'clock. So market just opened. Okay, so Sydney just opened. So this is where I get patient because there's going to be volume during the new market open. You want to be patient. Okay. We talked about it last time, so it might not just be. Can we talk? Okay, yeah. So I take a look at everything. Like I was planning. Okay, yeah. Looks like it might push over that 380, 370. All right. This is where I play levels on market opens. In a way, when the market opens like this, these are your orbs right here, like 383 and 370. This is your orb right here for the market open. All right. Oh, it closed, barely closed underneath it. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in. Look at this. It could not close above it. Look at that. Closed underneath by the tiniest of bits. Now there's an attempted push. You can see how it's respecting it. It needs to close above. The 5 minute is looking still very bullish. The 5 minute is looking bullish, but it has to hold above that level. Until then, there's nothing there. The 2 minute is also trying to hold down. So if this holds down beneath 83, there'll be a 2 minute level here. Now you're going to have a super tight 2 minute between 80 and 83 if this does not break this 83.70. Doesn't break this 83.70. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Needs to hold above it here. Oh, it's struggling. She's struggling. Look at this. Oh, look at that. See, this is why I wait for candle closure. She could not close above again. Wow. And another push up. She's struggling. Wow. Look at that. Look at those wicks. Look at the way it's just wicking down hard right there. Cannot close above. That's no go. This is how you avoid fake breakouts. And it's going to be a very tight little box here. Very tight little box for the levels on gold here soon. For the 7 p.m. Sydney Open. I miss a good short on gold. Just didn't hit the sells. You got to, like I said, you got to do it. You won't have any micros. Look at that. Look at that. Like, again, right? Levels, man. Levels on freaking metals. That's why I've been eating on silver. Like, it just respects these levels so clean. Javi, I'm going to be touching 100K this year. Hey, Boozy. Make sure you got the bread, man. Those accounts aren't cheap. Do not YOLO those accounts. Play those very cautiously still. I caught 10 on that little drop just now. Let's go, drop dead. Caught some of that. Scored 889 off the drop. Let's go, guys. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When you guys can just already learn off the lesson and already just take trades without having to wait for me. Like, that's what I love. I love that. You haven't taken it because 1 million was in TPOA. Micros, yeah. So for me personally, if there's not enough room, I wouldn't take it. But again, like, if you have an account that you have room in and the risk is low, I'll test. Sometimes I'll test. I'll hit the 5 points and go break even. And the risk is so low. When the risk is super low, I love to test them. Need another 100. Take your time seeking profits. Take your time, okay? That last little bit is sometimes like what kills everyone. Even if you lose, right? Even on your next trade, if you lose, do not size in. Do not move your stop losses, right? Just don't let 100-point profit target all of a sudden kill your account. You don't know how many people I've seen do that shit where they're like, I just needed $30 to get a payout, and then they blow their account. I'm like, oh, take your time, bro. Like, again, right? You're so close. You haven't taken that. Micros, even shit, that 10 points for 46 micros, saying you lose that trade was needed when you see your mentors take a loss and come back 100 times stronger. Yeah, exactly, drop dead. Exactly, right? And I take L's. I'm not perfect. I take L's. I just move on from them fast. Like, they don't hurt me. They don't do anything to me. Like, there's no point of me living off of, doubt off of an L. I screenshot them and I learn from them, right? I'm like, okay, I messed up. Why did I mess up? What happened? What happened in the play? What did I miss? What was I impatient? Did I not wait for the candle to close? Did I forget that it was the 930 orb? Did I forget to put the 930 orb? You know how many times that's happened to me where I forget to put 930 orb on and I'm like, oh damn it, Again, right here, look at this, right? Rejected that level. Now it's all the way down here at the 383. Now you got to wait for the candle closure for potential continuation push. But right, would I be like if you caught it from up here? Be happy with that. It needs to break that 379.10. What's interesting is, oh no, that's just a 5-minute level. Yeah, the 2-minute level and the 5-minute level are right there. 379, 380. Look at that. It's bouncing right now. Currently bouncing right off of it hard on the 1 minute. Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you, just eat off the levels. That's all I've been doing on silver. Like the metals love these freaking levels. Like just scalping the shit out of them. Look at that. 30 tick bounce. It's wild. So I'm gonna go read for you. Just stashed the gold on. Let's go, freaking Nasima. Killing it, brother. What are your silver settings? Okay, so silver, yeah, let's go to silver. So silver settings are basically exactly like NQ settings. So if you're on the 1 minute chart, you're the 1 in 5, right? Again, I'm looking at the triple time frames because Kathy's been doing it, and you know what? It's for like if you want to wait and be patient for like a super good setup, wait for like where all these levels are, like with the 2, the 1, and the 5, and then wait for the 3 to line up. And that's something that we're gonna go over later, a little bit later, because she's been doing it. She's been doing great, and then I just started looking at it, even on my phone, and I'm like, dang, okay, yeah. When you have the triple confluence, it's like so far been pretty free when you have the triple confluence. So silver is very simple. Again, just exact same way as gold, right? It respects the levels, the creation of a level, the stack levels, and you see how the action lines just guide smoothly, right? A++ setups. Everything flows beautifully when it does a failed bearish move. It tends to launch. Didn't push all the way up to this 7406 levels right now. It's trying to get up there. It did pause on these 2 minute right here, 7402. This is where it's pausing right now. Right, 7407 is that 5 minutes. So this up here, there's a stack of levels up here. So there was a lot of previous resistance. It breaks through that. There's a lot more room up. All right, this was a failed cross down on the 1. The 5 is still closing above that top line. So again, it's still looking very bullish, but it needs to break over these levels up here. The 7407, 7416. Now the move happened already. The move is done. Right? I don't look for reversals. I wait, and then I wait for the pauses. I wait for my candles to appear. I wait for it to get to levels, and then I look for a potential play there. This 2 minute needs to start closing underneath 73.87 to pull this down a little bit, right? Now the line's moving up a little tighter. So now it needs to close underneath 79, let's say 92. The 5 minute needs to start closing underneath the same to start breaking that top line. Then the bottom line is still pretty far. Like when the lines are pretty far, this is where you're like, okay, they need to get tighter. But again, the 2 minute could start holding over here a little bit. I want to see this 5 minute start closing underneath the exact same area as the 2 minute for potential pullback on silver. But the uptrend on the 5 minute is pretty damn deep. Like zoom out and you'll see it, right? This was the flip. Look at the downtrend. Here's the flip. And boom. It's been respecting that uptrend. Currently just pausing up here. Okay, so metals loves levels, period. Levels, A++ setups. Creation of levels, that's it. Like very simple. Breaks a level, tends to continue to the next one. Very close to it. All right. Okay, again, 7402 is the 2 minute. This is where you have your bunch. Right? Look at that. Right? Currently rejecting it. 2 minute can close underneath this 93.92. That will start seeing your potential pull down, but you have to wait for it to close, right? Don't start getting in just because you see that. No, you have to wait for the closures to avoid those fake outs. What is the silver settings? Oh yeah, that's right. So the silver settings, here are the silver settings, right? 1 in the 5. That's it. 1 in the 5. Right? If you're gonna do what I'm doing right now and testing the triple time frame thing, right? The 2 minute chart should just be 1 in the 2. Not everyone has to do this, right? I'm just kind of testing it out, looking at what Kathy's been looking at. And so far it's been pretty nice. It's been nice having that third little confluence. If you're just doing pure quantum, having that third little confluence has been amazing. But just the 1 in the 5, right? If you're on silver and NQ, the 1 in the 5. If you're on MGC, it's the 1 in the 2. The 1 in the 2. Look at this. Look at this. Look how it's respected this 2 minute level. Right? You also have that 5 minute level there too, which adds a little bit. Right? Look at that. Breaking over 84.40. All right, now it needs to hold up here over 84.50 if it wants to keep going a little bit. And there it goes. Look at that, just launching. Now this needs to close. above 84. Still has 40 seconds, and it could keep going, but you need to see it hold above that. This is also the current day high. I personally don't like to trade current day highs or lows personally, because that could be the current day high or low. It could keep going, absolutely, but I personally don't like to trade at those points. I like to wait till it's at center or kind of a good pullback or something. I used to get eaten up alive trying to like enter at the current day highs and stuff. But it's always fun to watch. Let's go, Seeking. You got it? Oh, Seeking, congratulations. You got it, bro. You got it, man. Let's go. You got it, brother. Let's go, bro. Let's go, man. Celebration there. You took that little short right there. Rejecting right there. Entered a few more levels. Rejecting. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, look at that. Touch 7407. Hard rejection. Right? That's it. That's it. That's literally. Silver has been so easy because it's just waiting for it to get to the level, waiting for it to form a level. And yeah, I've been passing accounts left and right with silver, which has been fun as hell. And I'm gonna I have alpha and funded next are going to be strictly silver accounts, like strictly. All right, there's gold. Gold's still running a little bit. Look at that, it gets violent. See, this is the hard part with gold is that it just does random spikes. It's just whoop, there it goes. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right, very simple, guys. Like you understand, you see it. All right, this is what is so simple about it. Boom, there's the level. Right, again, not an area where I would trade. They're still going. Right, this is why I love doing this during real time. It happens over and over and over again. This is why I'm Maestradamus. Right, I can see it. I can see it happening over and over and over again. And when you guys get to like narrate it and you just go, okay, if this does it, you're gonna be like, oh shit. And you do it over and over and over and over again. All right. Now next, right, the 2 minute, right? This needs to start holding over, right, over here, right? 87. So it needs to start really holding over 88 if it's gonna lock in a 2 minute level. Right? It might start coming back and retesting down here a little bit, but it needs to hold over 88 if it's gonna lock in another level, and it might give a quick pop. But be cautious because again, we're at the current day highs. So the pop could be like random. It could just be like a wild wick, and then all of a sudden it starts reversing. Because I've seen that happen multiple times. That's why I don't like to trade the current day highs or lows. It's always like, oh, the short looks great here. It looks great, right? I have some room, but then all of a sudden, now you don't have room because you got a level that got created after one failed because you're at the current day high or low. That's what see Fuzi. I'm gonna take out like a server. That's why I need to have. I'm getting my other screen because gold is pumping, silver is still struggling with these levels. Like look at that, right? The two sometimes they follow and sometimes they don't. They really go back and forth a lot, and I need to have them both on the same screen so I can really take a look at if they have a divergence, if they do what NQ and SPX does. I haven't gotten the chance to do that just yet. But you can see how silver is respecting the levels again, right? Got that 5 minute, the 7407 is just respecting it for the moment, right? It's still looking pretty damn bullish on the 5, but you have little opportunities here. It just built another 2 minute level. But with silver, again, the 2 minute level isn't strength. It's the 5, right? Just because it formed a 2 does not give me anything because the 5 is still not pulling down far enough for me, right? It has to pull all the way down here to 73, 81, 82. Right? Till then, it could still keep pushing up. It could, right? Could. Big emphasis on could. Currently, right, if it keeps holding below here, there's a good chance it'll retrace them for sure. There's a good chance. But, you have to weigh your risk, weigh what you're looking at. Right? There was a failed cross down over here at 73.86. So this could test some of this blue candle. 2 minutes rejecting pretty nicely right now. 5 minute is gonna start looking like it wants to close down here. So now, okay, so now the 5 minute is gonna close beneath, so that's decent. Then it needs to start pulling down below 73.80 next. All right, so see how you see. Okay, so here's a good example of how to look at that standard weight, right? For me, or it looks okayish. It's okayish on the 1 and the 2, but if you're just playing on the 5, right? You have to be a little bit more patient, right? Because this is not fully flattened out yet. There's no bowling on the 5. until it can close underneath 73.89 flat. But based on the 1 and the 2, right, they look okay-ish. But again, I wouldn't be playing a big move. I wouldn't be playing for a big move. Like I would be either I would scalp it and leave a runner to potentially a big move, but this is again still uptrending pretty good. So I'd be cautious. And what time is it? Okay, so the market already has 15 minutes in, and it's just hanging out up here till the 5-minute closes underneath 79. If you played that 74 to 73.91, that's good money too. Even with the silver micro, that's really good money. All right, took a short on silver. Short on silver is good now, I think. Be cautious. It's looking okay. It's not looking like grade A for me just yet. It's not. See, this is why I want to see this 5-minute really start closing underneath that 73.93. The 5-minute is this is why the 5-minute trend is the most important trend for me. Why I'm eliminating it from the 1 and the 2, the lower time frame. I'm just keeping it on the 5. But the longer it keeps rejecting the 74.06, this whole pocket right here, the more chance that this will start curling down. This 5-minute, I want to see this top line start curling down underneath 74.07. Try to play bounce on that 5-minute NQ level and got stopped out quickly. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. I talk about this one right here. All right, let's go over this right now. So Alaskan, you try to play the rejection off of this 5-minute level right here. I want to make sure you're correct. The bounce. Right now, Swab, I'm testing 1, 2, and 5 on everything for triple confluence. That's what I'm doing. I'm just testing it. The two time frames work perfectly fine. The 1, 2, and 5 combo gives you a little bit bigger play setups. So we're deep diving into bigger play setups, basically, higher TPs, things like that. And this is still in early testing. So I'm trying to eye what 5-minute level bounce you're looking at, because I see the 5-minute level above. This is a 2-minute level right here. The only 5-minute levels I have are down here, and then this one, obviously this failed, right? You have the uptrend is still holding, so you have that push down, you have that level down below, and as soon as it broke this level, right? Okay, let's zoom in on the 5-minute, okay? Because this is again something else, just like liquidity, high of week, high of day that everyone uses, right? When a previous level of support or resistance gets broken, what happens, right? It gets flipped to the opposite. Okay, so always be cautious of this and keep an eye on this. Whoops, I want to turn it blue. Right? You see how that level got broken? Then what happened? It became support. Right? So that what was it? 48.75 broke through, pushed, came back down. Right? This was tight. This is getting tight. Again, high of days. Be cautious. Right? Tight. Pushed through, came back down. Right? Ripped under that. Is this the 5-minute level right here? This little tight one came down and then tested the previous one that broke, and then there bounced. I see it now. I 57. I would have had the stop loss a little bit more if I was going to play that one. But again, there's no like quantum candle or nothing, and you're playing high of day. So very cautious, right? And it is looking like it's going the direction. So you had the correct intentional read, but the crosses were so tight you had to be a little cautious. But it retested the previous break of 49. That's exactly what this did. So that's something that comes in time that you'll start seeing that when you see a flip of a level, you see it break and it becomes support. Just like with any other, right? People use liquidity zones or whatever they use. I've seen people use it where if it breaks and then comes back and retests and holds it, then all of a sudden that goes from resistance to support. Exact same idea with these levels. You'll see it over and over and over again. All right, doing the 2.5. I am about to get my first prop, thinking of getting Apex. Apex is, yeah, they're cheap, but you pay activation fee. So be aware, I think the sale that they're running ends on Tuesday the 6th, so you need to pass it before 2 or by the 6th to get that $60 activation fee, but after the 6, they go back to the 125. I think is what they normally do. But they're cheap, nice tester accounts to start with, right? If you want to go in and you want to forward test something with an account, and if you pass it, great, activate it. But you can't beat $20. Like getting $20 on an account you can test on, you can't beat that, honestly. Just for to test with the emotions because it's an account. But Apex is tricky, so I see people see us saying don't do it. Apex has the hardest rule sets that you'll find. Funded Family is good, and you're right. The Funded Family Futures has some of the best sales you'll see in the industry right now. When they get these 50%, 55%, and then they do 50% off on the resets, jump on those. Load up if you want to have some fun accounts. Yeah, intraday does suck on that, but there's ways to defeat it. Yes, the key for me is levels being stacked in one area. Yeah, there you go, Kathy. Yep. Could I pass 80 bells with that amount? All right. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so this is right here. Looks like you have that cross down. It's hard to see on that picture because it's kind of cropped off. Is that on the 1 minute? Looks like it's right here. Dun, dun. Yeah, see, I had the purple. You didn't have this purple candle. You might be on MNQ. MNQ and NQ, there are going to be slight differences. So it looks like this is exactly, yeah. So this is exactly, see right here. Look, I'm going to draw where this previous 5-minute level was, where it broke. This is why 5-minute levels are key for you guys to watch. So right here, look at that. All right, this is where that 5-minute level was, right here. 448. So I drew it at the exact same spot it is on my 5-minute chart. Look where it bounced. So in a previous area of resistance became support immediately to the T. Right, we're current high of day. Right, you're gonna see very, very choppy action price at current high of day. You're always gonna see this. That's why I don't like to trade it. When you're at high of day, I do not like to trade it. If I have a runner running and still running, great. There's something I'm going to go over with my students with when I get a certain kind of setup for a runner with Saucebox in play, how I play those. Because I'm kind of seeing it right now a little bit. That would have been a really good opening set play. But that's a student thing, unfortunately, because that would be a Saucebox as well. That would be a Saucebox setup. But right now it is, right now it bounced right off of 64. So yeah, I see exactly where you're seeing it. So I had the purple. So this from here, if you played it just based on the A++ setup, the entry would have been 64. Stop loss would have been 72. You would have gotten 64 all the way down here. You would have gotten 15, 16 points off of that play. If you entered on the quantum setup up here. But after that, that would have been close from a 5-minute break that got flipped. Right, and you can also see it, right? You also see, if you look at it, right, this is where the candles still come in play as well, right? If you didn't have that cross up, same idea with a failed bearish or bullish move, right? You have a bunch of confluence saying, that purple candle here, right? You have the cross and the purple candle that got broken. That's the retest of your flip in liquidity or whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want, but flip in a resistance point. It went from being resistance to support immediately. And bounced up. Look at these wicks down to the 64 right now. 70s breaking, and it's it's crossing down here, crossing here, crossing here. This is getting very tight. It's gonna start waiting for Asia. So you see how it's crossing back and forth over here. It's crossing at 70, 73. The 2-minute is crossing at 53, crossed at 66 and 71. So it's doing a lot of little crosses here back and forth. The 5-minute's getting tight. So it's waiting right now. This is all telling me it's waiting for Tokyo. It's waiting for Tokyo now. So this is where I would just be like, yep, I don't like this. Too many crosses. Too many levels surrounded now. Like there's definitely more room up than down, but it's just cross galore. This is chop zone. This is where accounts come to die. 5 minutes looking super tight. Right, it looks like it wants to go up, but it's looking ugly for me now. I don't like this. This is where I will be sitting on my hand waiting for 8 o'clock. And you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to identify when, you know what, let me stop. See, now that I took that loss, I didn't get this one. But you have to be cautious of that because it has to break that 665 level. You're on M and Q. Yeah, because your level's at 65. This is at 60. Oh, it might be the same. Looks like, no, it actually looks the same right now. Right? That 73, that's a 10-point play. Yeah, it's a 10-pointish play. The advanced read, about 10 points, not fully 10 points. It needs to break 64.50. I mean, the risk on this wasn't horrible. But you have to be okay, if it didn't play out, you'd be okay taking the L, but there goes. There's your 10 points now. Right? But it is tight. It's tight. To me, this is tight. This is like, it's testing this level. There was a nice advanced read set up with a low risk, 5-point risk. Gave you your if you want to talk RR, that was a 1 to 2 RR technically if you played it for the 10 points. But this is too tight for me. Like I wouldn't be trading right now personally. My old degen self probably would. Absolutely. I'd probably be like, oh, let me test this. Oh, let me test that. Let me test that. Let me see if it breaks. Let me do that. Right? When I was testing everything left and right. But now, that I'm over that phase, I'm just like, yeah, this is looking chop fest for me. And I love chop, but not when it's like this tight. Like when it's this tight, that's when I know, you know what? It's too tight. Let me not take it. YOLO a 20 account Apex long and wake up and see if you passed it. Yeah, that's degen talk right there, Ken. That's super degen talk. So right now, this is just reading. This is just getting, for me, this is getting really, really tight. The 2 minute looks tight. You can almost treat them. Like, I love it when it does this on the 1 and the 5 personally. But you see how the 3 levels right here on the 2 minute chart, almost like an orb, right? You got center, top, and bottom. Like, I love it when the 1 and 5 do this. Like, I love it because then you have your center, you have your top, and you have your bottom. And then that's like a quantum orb that appears every once in a while where it's like perfect. But when they're like not perfect, it's kind of like, eh. Which firms allow silver micros? Alpha and Funded Next. And FFF. Those 3 of our partners. One of the other ones I use also allows it. I think both of them do. I have 2 other props that I'm using that are not our trusted partners, so I can't name them, unfortunately. But I am like bouncing around props. I got like 8 different props right now that I'm playing with. I've gotten a payout out of every single one minus Apex. No, I haven't gone back to MFFF. They did me dirty after I blew the live account. I had a live account. I made like 7K off of that live account. Before I went through like a rough little patch. I was, family issues to like keep it short. And then I blew it, and then they wouldn't answer me. Like they ghosted me for the longest time until I went public on their thing, and then they finally, okay, fine, well, when we respond, and then they finally responded to me. But it left a bad taste in my mouth, so I didn't like it, and I didn't go back. They gave me an opportunity to go back, but I was just like, no. Like the fact that not FFF, my funded futures. Max doesn't like the owner, so I guess I could talk a little bit of trash. I'm gonna have to edit this on YouTube though. I don't want to get attacked by them. They paid me out, but yeah, they when I blew the live account, and then I was trying to get them to take, hey, what do I do now? Can I go back? Because like I made money off of the live account. Like I made a pretty decent amount off the live account. It was just like what happened afterwards. Like they completely ignored me until I went on their thing and said, hey, is anybody gonna answer me? Like I've been messaging you guys for like a month and a half. And people were asking, so what happens when you blow a live account? So what happens? Because everyone wanted to know. And I said, so this is what happens when you blow a live account. You ask them, and they ghost you. I haven't gotten a response. I've emailed them 6 times. Like I've emailed them like twice every week because I don't want to bombard. I don't like to bombard people. But I emailed them twice a week. Hey, I haven't got a response. And it was like, there was 2 people that were my live account of people. And they wouldn't get back to me ever until I went on there. And then finally someone answered me. I'm like, damn, it took that to get somebody to answer me because like people were like, oh. And I don't like to do stuff like that. Like I don't like to. But back then, all I knew was them and Tradeify. Those were my two props back then. So I was kind of like a little hurt because I was like, okay, I only have Tradeify and these guys. I didn't know about any other prop at that point. So, you know. I didn't know about Apex, but, you know, no hate because they're affiliates. So, you know, but, you know, when I read the rules and stuff, I was just like, oh, man, so many. Like a lot of us do. You know, that's natural. But, you know, they pay out too. They pay out too, but you just kind of wiggle around it. I got to edit that part out because they're affiliates. So I don't want to speak hate on them, but I am working on getting a payout from them. I am absolutely working on getting a payout from them. I think you know what the game changer is going to be, because my worry is I don't want to spill the sauce, right? I don't want to tell them what quantum is and exactly what it does, because it almost feels like that's what they ask of. But now that we're going to be on there, right? They're going to have wealth charts. We're going to be on wealth charts. Like all of our indicators are going to be there. So when they ask, I use quantum shift. Easy. They'll be like, oh, okay, cool. They'll see that you're subscribed, and I don't think there'll be any really like more questions other than that. That's at least what I'm hoping. Because I really do like wealth charts, and I can't wait to see what it looks like on there. Like I can't wait. You can yawn all you want, but if you can't trade normally when it's a complete waste of money. I'll plead the fifth there. All right, see, she's stuck. NQ currently is stuck. Let's take a look at silver. Silver's still pumping. Holy shit. Silver is still pumping. Look at her go. All right, look at this. Silver has refused to close underneath the bottom line. All right. This is where you could potentially use, this is where the trend, I've only had a couple people use this. Again, I'm not this kind of trader. I don't hold that long. I don't have the patience for it, right? Where they would just keep holding until it breaks underneath the line or breaks the trend on the higher time frame. I just don't like to hold that long. Like, that's just me. But with silver, that's a huge play. Like, that's a huge play. Like, it has not broken underneath. I mean, not broken. It's broken it slightly, but it has not closed underneath, and it's still going. All right, we're at the 74.84 next. After that, 75.03, and then you have a pocket up here. But once silver breaks through levels, silver goes, right? It broke, like, you look how respected. Finally kicked in, pushed through, and still going. The gold's headed to 406. Let's take a look at gold. Oh yeah, look at that. Gold doing the same thing. Look at that. All right, again, I don't like it when they're intertwined like this and super tight. Not a fan of this. Not a fan when they're like this. Yeah, look at gold racing to 406. Holy shit. All right, gold's at, silver is at that 74.84. I'm telling you, it respects these areas, so it's like fun to see it. But again, the 1 and the 5 on silver, the 1 and the 5. So 75.03, it does break through this 75.03, and then the next pocket will be up here, 75.56. You can see these pocket levels right here. You can see the stack levels. Ooh, the 2-minute barely closed underneath that 74.84. All right, looks like she's reacting right there. Let me see what the DOM on silver looks like actually. Oh, silver's DOM is actually moving a bit. It's actually moving way faster than M and Q. Yeah, gold and silver's DOM is actually moving really well right now. It's actually pretty. Gold is moving way faster than silver. So there's definitely some volatility there. There was definitely reaction. It slowed down after it pulled back. It slowed down some. Man, nice Scarface. Hell yeah, dude. Way to go. I really like wealth charts too, Ken. Like that's, if anything's gonna bring Apex to life, is our indicators on there and wealth charts. Like you don't understand how excited I am, because Like I've always wanted to trade on the charts. Like I love the way, like I love the Dom. Like I'm always gonna have the Dom up because the Dom is a confluence of mine. When the Dom goes crazy, right? When I'm saying the Dom's going crazy, I'm looking. I'm like, where is it going crazy? And if I see a level there, that's a major level. But you know, like the smoothness of trading on that chart, I really like it. Like really, really like it. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Ken. I agree with you 100% there. Yeah, Molly. I know Max is working on one, and I'll probably once he works on his, I'll watch his, and I want to make like a oh damn it, I got the camera that there we go. Oh shit, this is cool. It's cool. I got the same camera Logan has, the one that would follow him, and if you make gestures, I think this yeah, it's very easy. That follows me. So I already figured it out. Like this thing tracks your movement, and then I do this, and it blinks, and then it stops. So if I make certain gestures, it'll zoom in and shit. It's pretty cool. I actually really like it. So I got the same camera he did because the camera on my MacBook is really freaking nice. And I'm like, damn, the camera on the one that I have at home, I'm like, sucks ass. So I got the one he got, and I can like, I feel like I got magical powers now. Like, yeah, look at Silver going to the next level. Look at that, broke through that 2 minute level again. Right, 2 minute levels don't hold a whole lot of strength on Silver. It's the 1 and the 5. Racing up to the 7503. Ooh, look at that push right to it. Right to it. Look at that wick right on it. All right. Look at this. Oh, this is what I love. I love this stuff, man. Like wick right on it. Let's see if it can break it or if it's gonna stall out here. It's got 40 some seconds still for that 1 minute candle. Then after that, we got 75.47 and 75.56. Broke right through it. Look at that. Super strong push up. Needs to close above it. Again, right? I don't like to trade. The move's already happening. I don't like to take trades on this. Once it's already been pushing up. This has to close above 75.03. Look at that wild pull. See, this is the thing about metals. You have to be extra patient with metals. You have to be extra patient. You have to wait for the candle closures because if you don't, I've seen this happen time and time again with silver, especially. Silver really respects these levels. Barely broke through it. I would not count that as a full break, honestly. It needs to hold above it. That's a tippy tip break. It could still go, but with the way I consider a break, that's a tip, and I don't play the tip game. So if it gives out that 75.03, it could come back down, but 75.03 needs to hold for that level break to be confirmed for me. But this thing is already pushed up well enough for the opening. Like, all right. Do you like trading in your domain since you've been out? In my domain? My Dom? The Dom? I love trading on the Dom. I always love trading on the Dom. You're done, Seema? The crying face, hopefully you didn't mess up. Tell me you didn't mess up, Seema. The crying face doesn't. Oh, I'm back at home? Um, I don't care. It didn't affect me. I can trade anywhere. Like, I think that's my talent. Like, I can literally trade anywhere. You're 309 plus. Good shit. That's okay, Seema. Never be sad, man. Never be sad about what you're green. You fucking have. You made in like what? An hour and a half? What I used to make in 10 hours of work in one day. 10 hours. And that's a $60,000-$70,000 a year salary. Okay? Be fucking happy that you made that in an hour and a half. And times 4 counts? Fuck yeah, dude. So you just made 4 general manager salaries in an hour and a half in one day. In an hour and a half, right? Fucking amazing. Yeah, silver refuses to go down. Like it gives little push downs, but that 5 minute looks so freaking bullish still. Like, that's it's just hanging out here. Could form a level again here, 7508. But the 5 minute needs to start pulling underneath 74.80 and holding. If it really is going to come down anytime, I want to wait to see it close below that line on the 5 minute. And even then, you want to be cautious because it's uptrending really hard. Oh, look at that big ass pull down on the 1 minute candle. That's a huge pull down. This is a fresh 5 minute candle. So, damn, look at that. All right, silver got violent. Silver got violent. Yeah, that's 75.33. Ooh, big purple. Big purple in 1 minute. It's racing down to 63. Needs to break 63 if it wants to make 66 and 63, or 64, I'm sorry. This 5 minute needs to continue to hold underneath here, underneath that 80. Still has about almost 4 minutes for that 5 minute candle to close. What time is it? 7:40. So it's going to get tricky because Asia's opening up soon. So this is where I'd be careful. 4,000 and 4,400. Let's see. Oh shit, look at that. Ooh, look at that beauty on gold. Wow. That rejection off of that 44.06. Which one of you guys said it's racing to 44.06? Exactly. 44.0620 in the rejection. Hard rejection right there. Oh, be careful, Woozy. This is going to retest this 44.01 area. This 2 minute needs to close down here. Two-minute closed. It's going to immediately go to retest. 5 minute is still trending up. That's one of these are these impulse candles. Remember, these get retested. These do get retested sometimes. There's always a pull up on these. So if I were to play something like this, I would really want it to kind of really retest this 401. It's still a 50 tick, still like a 40 tick stop loss on this. So this is kind of scary. That's a big, big impulse. This could retrace the whole thing. If that 5 minute uptrend is going to hold, this could easily blow right through this thing. Let's see what my DOM is looking like on gold. And then we got Asia opening up in about 17 minutes. So yeah, I play it cautiously around here. It could actually, it could resist. As long as it stays underneath this 401, 402. Remember actually, I think I got to change my gold settings. I think I have this set to 1 and 5. I do. All right, let me change that. I do. My bad. When I load them up, I have to change it. So the 1 minute chart was not correct. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's what I want to see. So as long as it stays underneath this 402, it should pull down some. So didn't give you your full-blown advanced read because that would have been a lower risk. But there we go. I did take it with a few micros right now. I'm up. This is what's wild with gold. Like 3 micros up 50 bucks on that little move. Yeah, they do. Yeah, silver is looking good too here if it can stay down here for this last minute. Let me take a look at silver's DOM. Well, yeah, silver's DOM is moving a lot faster than gold's DOM. It's moving a lot faster. Silver needs to close underneath that 78, and then it needs to stay underneath it. But again, this isn't going to form a level yet. So it might not even be this candle right here. This is not going to form a level just yet. It'll be the candle after that we need to hold beneath. But it's still like everything is lining up for a pull down. Maybe 74.23 here. Gold's moving down already. 75.03 stop. All right, there goes gold. Here comes silver too. just a little bit. Silver looks like it's holding up a little better than gold. Silver is not pulling down as like looks like gold like is going down pretty nice right now. Silver's hanging on, like silver's showing some strength. If I were to read this like NQ, silver has well more strength than gold does. All right, there goes my gold TP. Now I got one runner on gold running. Wow, look at that. Wow, gold's running beautifully. There goes silver. All right, silver went a little bit delayed. Finally, silver's moving, but it's not moving as well as gold is. I entered one contract short on each one, and I'm sitting plus 70 on gold and minus 10 on silver. Now minus 40. Silver showing. I'm just testing. This is an eval. I'm just testing this on. I wanted to go short on both and test the relative strength. I'm going to get out of the silver because silver pumped up now. And pretty much right now it just offset what I made on gold. It just offset what I made on gold. So gold looks to be silver is holding strength over gold right now, just based on this test at least. So that's interesting. Yeah, look at gold drop and silver's pumping. Now gold's pumping a little bit. This 5-minute candle needs to look okay. So here we can kind of see it. 5-minute needs to close underneath 74.85, like preferably underneath 74.80. If it can close underneath 74.80, that should be good for potential pullback. But if it breaks over that 74.80, she's not ready to come down just yet. But definitely silver is holding way more strength than gold is. Gold dropped well and silver is pumping. Yeah. All right, Bronco, you take it easy. Gold and silver has similar. How long would it take for you to pass a 50K account? I'm new to trading, and I've been watching you at Big Max and Big Daddy Max on Twitter. Usually for me, I could pass an eval with my sizing. Like, you know, the 50Ks, I size 6 micros. Okay, that's the max amount I like to go on 50Ks. I've passed them in a week. I've passed them in as low as 3 days. It just varies, right? I do personally play a little bit more continuously on evals, especially now. Oh, there goes silver. But once I have a buffer, that's where I tend to go a little heavier. But I never. If I have a buffer, I'm basically just playing with the buffer, and I always stick with I have a 3 strikes amount rule. So you want to be strict with your rules. That's the important thing. All right, silver is holding underneath at the moment. This is looking stronger than gold is at the moment still. Like gold is still looking very bearish while silver is kind of like hesitant. Even though, yeah, looking at the charts, yeah, if I'm reading the relative weakness and strength, gold actually has relative strength if I'm reading this correctly. I need to have them side by side, but it looks like gold has, gold has relative strength over silver. It's got a minute left. This has to close underneath again at 80. All right, how long would it take for you? So yeah, so it varies, right, depending on the sizing and stuff. But I like to build buffer. But yeah, I passed them in less than 2 weeks. I passed them in a week. If you don't rush it, then yeah. So yeah, if you don't rush it, it could take realistically, right? You don't want to rush. You don't want to rush it. You want to treat your eval just like you would treat your funded, right? You don't want to go into an eval just playing it like a gambling style of account, going in heavier just because it's an eval, because you'll dig yourself in a hole really fast, just resetting, just renewing over and over and over again. So it's good practice to trade that eval, especially if you're brand new to this. Trade that eval just like you would, like if this was a real account. How would I trade that real account? Yeah, look at this. The 5-minute is not closing underneath, so this is a no-go. Oh, good thing again, right? I got out of it because it was pulling up, and I basically offset my gold earnings, and gold is pumping. So they both kind of track right now. So if didn't close underneath 480, not ready. All right. Thinking of trading silver with gold micros. Can't afford silver's risk on the 25. Yeah. Kathy, silver, even the micros, I would not play the micros with an account lower than 100K, personally. If I were to play on a 50K, it'd be strictly one micro, like one. Like that's it. Because the silver micro is like an NQ mini. 6 minis. That's suicide. When I was testing silver minis on TPT, I went in with 3 minis, thinking, "Oh, I have room," and quickly blew that account on like one setup. That did not. That did it. That it didn't even pull back that much. It was just a lot. I was learning the whole movement and the sizing and everything. I was like, what just happened? I was shocked for like I was just like, wait. I was like, I just got into play. It barely pulled back, and it took me out. I'm like, what? I was so lost. And I was like, all right, let me try one. Like I reset it, and I'm like, let me try one. And I was like, oh yeah, no. I mean, I can't say yeah, no, because I did mess with one mini on the TPTs until I found out alpha and for the next did micros. Then I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna play minis. And especially I passed 4 TPTs, 150K TPTs with just silver minis, but I wouldn't do that on the fucking hell no. Bought an alpha advance today. Let's go, Ken. Yeah, I love alpha. Like I really love alpha. I really, really love it. All right. Next 5 minute candle. So here's where your 5 minute cross is going to form right here. This is now giving you where the cross is going to form. So this needs to close underneath 74.97. Needs to stay underneath, right? This is like if I used to do this back in the day where I would draw it out. If where you see it's moving a little bit. So you would just need to close underneath 75. 75. So you see how it's moving back and forth? It needs to hold underneath and it'll lock in that level. So right now it's still moving a little bit. It's respecting this 1 minute level where I pulled up. Didn't even really tap it. Let's see if this does pull down some on this candle. On this, if this 2 minute and a half, this two and a half minutes left. If this closes underneath here, if it's going to be a strong level, you should. This is how you can tell if a level's strong or not. You should see an immediate move. If you don't, if it hesitates, it's uptrending. That means that this down move is only temporary and it's going to push back. It's going to potentially push back up. Let's look at what gold's doing. Oh, gold is stuck in between. So gold has that one level here, and it still has that stack level. It's respecting. It's waiting for 7 minutes until Asia opens. It's waiting for Asia. This is exactly what this is doing. This is waiting for Asia to open. So it's just going to hang out here, I think. We're just going to be stuck right in here, right in between this zone, this 5 minute area. Let's see what NQ is doing. NQ looks ugly. It came back to test 433. 2 minutes pushing up. All right, broke underneath 65. And it looks like this blue candle resisted underneath it. So 65 is now the resistance point. If it breaks over, right? The 1 and the 2 are trying to push up. So this is chopped central right now. 5 minute back and forth purples like this. It's waiting for Asia. It's literally all it's doing. And let's take a look like silver moved. Yep, silver moved. It does not want to create that level yet. It's pushing up, it's separating it. Now silver is stuck in between these two 1 minute levels right here. This is what it's fighting. 75.05, 74.81. Yeah, that's a good point, Woozy. Just take your time on it. That's the thing. You gotta take your time on it. Don't treat it like a YOLO account just because it's a big account. God, look at that. Very nice, brother. There you go. Very nice. Caught that beauty right here, that beauty right here. I see it. Expected that level. There's your push up. Boom, boom. Now it's just hovering here, waiting for Tokyo. Gold's hanging out. Look at this, just hanging out, not moving. So it's waiting for 8. It's waiting for 8 o'clock. It's literally all it's doing. Okay, silver is just gonna hang out in here for a little bit. All right, look at that. It refused to create that level. Now it's up here. Now it moved all the way up here to 75.55. Now it moved up there. So it needs to stay underneath 75.55 now. It's just waiting for Asia. Asia opens. We'll just take a look at how Asia opens and reacts to these levels. And then I'm going to call it a night, guys. I'm going to call it a night. Hey, Paulin. Good to be here. But now I got to get ready for the event. Dude, I got 3 weeks to get ready for the event. I can't believe it. It's so wild. Boozy, I don't make professional gamblers. You should be a professional trader. Not a gambler. We don't gamble. We don't gamble around here, boy. You gambling, you're doing it wrong. What's up, Dom? Yeah, I see you there, Alaskan. Not much, just chilling right now. This is the boring part of trading. This is where, even like when I was super degen, where I'd be just like, let me just click a button and not have a stop loss, and let's see what Asia does. And then usually it would be a bad play. Usually. That's gambling. What's up, Sam? Boozy, shipping. Where are you from again? You're in Canada, right? Last time I shipped to Canada was like $100. Oh, it's breaking that 70.81 level. All right, silver is holding on to this top area, this top zone. It's pulling back some. I did test up here with one micro silver. I'm up $200, which is nuts. Like one silver micro is nuts. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm not on my MacBook. I'm trying to take a screenshot. I'm trying to take a screenshot with the way I did it on the MacBook. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm not on the MacBook right now. like this is wild. Like one micro is $210 right now. I'm up 225, 230. I'm already trailing it. Oh shit. Okay, there it goes. Look at that. 330. I'm trailing it. I'll take that. I took $300. Wow. Okay. I'm happy with that. It happens fast, and I trail. I took 325 before it pulled right back up, just the way it did right there. That's why I trail the way I trail. Look at that. Right before it popped up, Asia's opening up right now. Look at that. Holy crap. I got out right on time on that, man. Wow. 30 seconds and it popped right up. Just played the rejection of 75.05. That was literally, I got 74.98. There you go, Swap. Doing it right. That's how you do it, right? If you have the itch, do it on a fresh account. Do it on a paper account. Whatever, you got to scratch that itch. You got to scratch it. I know. I understand. That used to be me. It takes time to get, once you start getting paid from it, then it starts like going, okay, you know what? Now I got my little business in place. You start losing that itch. Ooh, look at that pump. All right, it's racing up to 75.47, looks like. Ooh, hard rejection up there. It hit 74.50. Now, if this stays underneath the 75.90, right? This is that 5-minute level. So right here, the 7,500. This is where, like, I'm reading this just like MLC right now. So 75.56, 75. Let's say 75.07. There's more room down than up, but again, it's looking bullish as hell in the 5-minute. So if this holds this 75.07 here, break 75.47, 75.56, then next you have 76 potentially. But right now, that was the 8 o'clock push. 2-minute is trying to lock in as well. So again, just like MLC, you guys see this, just like MLC, it just raises to a level area, and then you have to watch and see what it does, right? If you were to play this, right, you were to play the opening, and the openings I do call gambling. I do call opening trades and MLC kind of, right? Even though, you know, I still play them with levels and I have a plan. That volume push is wild. There's no clean 100,000% way to read it. But, you know, all this was, if it held above 86, just like I do MLC, it's got a chance to run up to that level, just like I do MLC. Now it needs to break through this to keep going up. If it resists, you start seeing rejection on this 1-minute candle, then we might see some pullback. And this is how I play these openings with Quantum. This is how I used to do it. I don't go over a lot of opening trading with Quantum because I don't like to do it. I consider that gambling. I do. Like, that's where I consider it gambling. Because it's just wild volume pushes. You have to wait for it to settle down. Oh, dang, look at that. Closed underneath and then popped. Just popped. Yeah, it looks hella bullish. The 5-minute, everything looks hella bullish, right? It held above that 75, this right here, the 75.60, this 5-minute level, right? That got broken through, that was going to form, popped itself up. It's going to form another level right here now at 75.22. So uptrend is holding strong as hell. Look at this uptrend, right? This is why I only care about the higher time frame uptrend. I scalped that little short right before. That was it. NQ pumping. Ooh, nice. Oh yeah, look at that. All right. NQ needs to start holding above 80. Needs to really hold above 80 if it's going to create another 5-minute level. Dang, look at that. Yeah, Quantum's doing its thing right now. Can't hold above 80. Could see some pushback coming. All right, let's see what silver 785. Didn't make it all the way to 76 just yet. Needs to hold above 747. It's going to push up some more. This formed because it closed in front and then immediately still popped up here. Again, this is why I'm careful, right? This right here on the 2-minute is why the 2-minute on silver is a bit for me. Right? But even so, this is where I'm careful. After 740, it tends to be chopped until opening. If it breaks 76, 76.54, got a few levels to go through, and then you'll be at all-time highs again. Up at the 82 area. I think it was like up here somewhere, the all-time high. Can't remember what it was. It was up there. Gold exploded. Oh, dang, yeah, look at that. Gold did explode. All right, gold ripping through its next level at 418 like it was nothing. It ripped through it like it was nothing. Look at this. 759. Did a little quick sell. Quick buy. Stack level. Hey, yeah, this is an A+++ here on gold right here. Stack level. This is a stack level right here. Look at that. 1, 2, skyrocket. $25 move on the stack level formation right there. That's a stack level play right here, guys. Gold is 1 in the 2. 1 and 2. NQ. NQ just looks funky to me. Could not hold above 480. Quickly pulled back. Could not hold above 480. Look at that. So silver hard rejection off 76. It actually popped to 76 and hard rejection. That's like a $300 rejection right there on silver. They do sometimes. There was that. I took the two shorts at the same time on gold and silver, and silver held strength over gold for a while because gold dumped and silver just hung out and then actually pumped, and then it dropped. Good night, Sima. So silver has levels it rejected on. Gold's in the middle of nowhere. So they do look like they do have confluence amongst each other. Absolutely. They absolutely do. So while silver rejected at a level, right? Gold had nothing, and then had a rejection point in the middle of nowhere. So there's definitely some connection there. Hard rejection at 76. But then you have to see it close underneath the 5-minute lines if it's going to pull down some. If it's going to pull down any more. All right. I hope I answered everyone's questions today. I hope everyone had a good understanding, right? Again, the majority, I think, really understand what the A++ and level reactions are. And that's what I'm focusing on. We're going to start this challenge next week. We're going to make the official announcements this week. And we're going to start this challenge off where we're focusing on A++ setups, level reactions. That's it. Nothing else, nothing fancy. I'm doing this the way I used to old school this before I had Softbox, before I played any of the other stuff, and I was just doing pure quantum, waiting for the levels, waiting for the reactions, respecting the stop losses. It's going to be very fun. We're going to, trade some gold, trade some NQ, and then we're going to break down the plays. It's going to be fun times. Absolutely. And that's what these if you guys notice the last couple sessions, right? Been a little more in-depth explanation of how to take the trades, not just what is A++ setup, what's this, what's that. Because I want everyone to understand, what we do, what we wait for, how to respect the stop losses, and then the amount of damage you can do really fast. But thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate your time, as always. Good to be back home. I can't wait till I'm in Florida. I can't wait to meet you guys at the event. Those of you that are coming, super excited and super nervous at the same time. But I'm more excited than nervous. And I'll be seeing you guys around. We're going to do this again next Sunday. And we'll make the official announcement. We'll make it this week for the challenge to start. So I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna have a good time. But study up. I'm gonna load this video up because we went through some good stuff today. So I'm gonna load this video up sometime either tomorrow or Tuesday. And study up, everybody. Okay, we're gonna focus on the basics. I eliminated the cloud on my 1 and the 2 minute. I'm only looking at it on the 5 minute. That's usually what I do anyway. Cleans up the chart a little bit, right? Well, we have our quantum candles and our levels. That's it. That's all you need on the lower time frame. 5 minute is what I like to look at for trend. Okay. Awesome, everyone. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Power Hour. Sleep tight, trade safe. Bye-bye.